The stamps that I used were the little boy from the Art Impressions Little Boy set. I used the little girl that's sitting right here. This is the Art Impressions Little Girl set. I used the boat and the pier. This is from the Art Impressions boat set. And I used this little flower right here from the Flower Set 2 Art Impressions. And the Stampscapes stamps that I used. This is from the Nature Sheet 5 and the Surfer and the Birds. From Nature Sheet 2, used these rocks and also this rock right here. From Sheet 11, we used the hotel. And let's get started. Okay, this was my practice session that I did, and so now I'm going to try and do the final piece on the chrome coat paper. I'm going to start by stamping out the buildings in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Get it inked up really well. And I want to stamp it right up in the upper right hand corner. Okay, very nice. Next I want to stamp this little boy. And I want to position him so that he's where I stamped him in my practice piece. So I'm going to stamp onto my positioner. I have a light box and I'm going to put my practice one underneath. Then I'll put this where the little boy was. I'll re-ink my boy. And I'll stamp him on the page. Get my little girl, ink her up, and stamp her on my positioner. Make sure my pages are lined up. Then I will position her where she was before. Re-ink her. And then stamp her. Okay, and I don't need my light box anymore. I have cut a mask for the little boy, so I'll mask him up, and I also cut a mask for the little girl, and I will cut her out. Now the next one I want to stamp is the boat. And I'm going to want to use my positioner again for that. And stamp it on here. And I want to position this so that she is just sitting on the bench that's in the just stamp that. A mask for her. Okay, next, going to stamp the pier. And so I will line that up so that the little boy is lying on it. And about like that should be good. Then we'll stamp the pier. Okay, and then I have a mask for the pier. We'll mask it up. The next one we're going to stamp are the rocks. And I need my bigger positioning plate for that, because this is a bigger stamp. Okay, and so where I want this to be placed is so that it's just under the boat, kind of like this. And I'll re-ink it up. And then we'll stamp it. I want those stamped like this. So it is going to be these right here that I am going to ink up. So it's just going to be this side. Put the positioner on and stamp the rocks. Now I want to stamp the little rock that the surfer is standing on. So I'm going to ink it up. Stamp it on the positioner. And I want that rock to be just hidden behind his foot. And so make sure that the water is straight. See the water ripples about like that. Okay. So I've got a piece of Post-it note here that I'm going to put across where I want the horizon line to be. So that's going to be about right there. And I have my water here. And I am going to just step in the water. This little crook in the water I've got on the edge of here. And we'll just stamp in the water. Okay, and I'm going to remove my mask. Oh, I need to put some water Actually, I'm going to probably continue the island out a little bit further so that it's off here. Now I want to do my last bit of stamping, which is going to be the surfer. I'm going to use my positioner again for this, and I want him standing right on, see, I don't think I got his feet dark enough so I can see where he's standing. Okay, so I want him to be standing about right there. See if I can get him straight up and down. Okay, that's good. So we'll stamp him there. Okay, next I want to ink up the sky, and so I'm going to use Stampin' Up, Soft Sky, Pool Party, Marina Mist, and Island Indigo. Okay, I'm going to put my mask back down that I had used to create my horizon. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz blending brush again, start with my lightest color, and I'm just going to brush it on. Okay, so we have a nice little highlight there. Okay, now remove the mask and move it to the other side. Now we're going to start working on the water. And start with the lightest color. Okay, next I'm going to work on the boat, and I'm using Powder Pink, Flirty Flamingo, and Real Red in Stampin' Up inks. Okay, and this time I'm going to use the stylus tool because I think I can get a little bit better control with the stylus tool than I could with the brush. Alright, it's not too terribly bad. I want to use number 48 Banyo alcohol marker, and I'm going to just do the green trim. Okay, now I'm going to use alcohol markers to color in their clothes. And so I'm going to use the number 14 to just draw some stripes on their shirt. And some stripes on his shirt. And then I'm going to use number 76 and BG3, which are these two colors, alcohol markers. And for their hair, I'm going to use WG05, 101, and 92. So I will start with the WG05 and 92, and I forgot to do the boy's hat. So the skin, I'm going to do number 26 and BG3. So now the Pier, I'm going to do an EG2. '92, and just touch the tip of the lighter one. This is still number EG2, and just get some darker region in there, some shadow. Okay, and I think I will come in here with some alcohol markers on the boat. And using the chisel tip, I'm going to supplement Okay, next I want to color the rocks and the buildings back here. I'm going to use Stampin' Up! Creamy Caramel, Close to Cocoa, and Chocolate Chip. Okay, I'm going to use the stylus tool for this. And I want to add a little bit of definition back into this boat for the stamped lines. Unfortunately, I grabbed the wrong Copic liner for her seat, and so that's a little bit more thicker than I wanted it to be. So I'm using the 0.3 liner. Okay, now I'm going to take my number 48 Banyo alcohol marker and I am going to color in the trees. Okay, I finished coloring the trees. Now I want to add a very slight yellow tinge to the light portion of the sky, and so I'm using some Stampin' Up! Barely Banana. Okay, next I'm going to use some Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink to see if I can add a little bit of highlight to the top of these rocks. Okay, and I'll put some BG3 alcohol marker for the surfer's shadow. And I'll use a little bit of that here underneath the boy as a shadow for him. And I'll also use my marker here to redefine some of these lines that I've lost due to coloring. Okay. Okay, and I always like to add flowers, so I'm going to remask her, and then I'm going to ink up the flower here. And it'll be like she's holding it. And I also want to add some color on the island, so I'm just going to make some small little dots of this number 55. And I want to add maybe some color to these windows. And Rocks 101, I think I'm gonna color, maybe add some color to these rocks. Alright, here's the finished product that we just did. I'm calling this Children in Paradise, And over here on the right, this is the notes and stamps used that I did for this particular project.